Well, now let me sit a spell and tell you my tale, as plain as the creek running through these hills. I go by Solomon these days, though folks once knew me as Silas Milton Harper, born in the year of our Lord 1837, right here in the heart of Pulaski County, Kentucky. But my kinfolk's roots go deeper still, and that's where the migrating begins. My forefathers hailed from the eastern hollers of Virginia and Tennessee, pushing westward in the early 1800s, seeking fertile ground and a life free from the crowded valleys yonder. It was around 1810 or so when my pa's people first settled these parts, drawn by the promise of the Cumberland's rich soil and the wild timber that stretched like a green blanket over the knobs. Life back then was a hard row to hoe, I reckon. We rose with the first light, tending to the land with naught but our hands, a mule if we were fortunate, and the grace of the seasons. The soil here in Pulaski was loamy and kind for corn and tobacco, but the winters bit fierce, and the summers brought floods that could wash away a man's hopes in a single storm. We built our cabins from the oaks and poplars we felled ourselves, and kinfolk gathered round the hearth of an evening to share stories and mend what was broke. There were fevers in the lowlands, and the occasional skirmish with wandering folk or the law of the wild. But we held fast, planting our seeds and raising our children to know the value of a day's labor. I married in time, and we raised a brood on that same ground, farming with the rhythm of the springs, creeks, and the call of the whippoorwill. Now from where I watch, beyond the veil you might say, I've seen my descendants carry on, though the paths they've wandered have twisted like a vine. 'Twas my great-great-grandson in the 1940s who felt the pull northward to Ohio, chasing steadier work in the factories and leaving behind the uncertain yields of these Kentucky fields. The war had stirred things up, and the promise of wages drew him away, but the land never left their blood. Come the 1970s, they returned, retiring to these familiar ridges and reclaiming the old homestead that became Wise Ass Farms. Now don't get all offended, let me explain why they chose this name. When their granddaddy and grandma came back to these hills in the 1970s, they kept a handful of donkeys along with the cattle. Them donkeys were stout and sure-footed, wiser in their ways than many a man gives credit. They'd stand watch over the herd, bray at coyotes in the night, and carry burdens up these rocky hills where a bigger mule might balk. Folks roundabout started calling the place Wise Ass, half in fun, half in earnest, on account of the donkey's quiet know-how and the family's own stubborn streak to hold fast to the land. But there's deeper roots to it, going back to the scriptures. In the book of Numbers, chapter 22, there's the story of Balaam, a prophet hired to curse the children of Israel. The Lord sent his angel to stand in the road with a drawn sword, and the donkey Balaam rode saw the danger plain as day. 3 times she turned aside or lay down, saving Balaam's life, though. He beat her in anger. When the Lord opened the donkey's mouth, she spoke plain, "What have I done to thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? And Balaam himself was humbled, seeing the angel at last. That donkey wasn't just stubborn, she was wise beyond her kind, chosen by God to speak truth when a man wouldn't listen. So the name Wise Ass Farms pays homage to both, the faithful donkeys that guard and work these hills, and that biblical beast whose eyes were opened by the Almighty to see what others missed. It's a quiet reminder that wisdom often comes in humble packages, and that the Lord can use even the lowliest creature to set a man right. Enough about that for the time being. As for what we're trying to do here now, it's simple yet weighty. We're turning away from the heavy-handed ways that wore out the land and the pocketbook. Endless hay fields, chemical crutches, expensive seeds and feeds that demand more every year. Instead, we're listening close to how the ground wants to work. Gentle rotational grazing with the Irish Dexters that came from the same land as my forefathers. Letting native forages grow as they did in my time. Keeping the soil covered and the herd content. No antibiotics, no hormones, just grass, time, and care. We built compost from clean plant matter, saving thousands in fees and giving back to the earth what it needs most. Rich, living dirt, free of weeds and great for growing. That food forest. Pecans, peaches, grapevines stretching over 300 strong is coming along slow but sure, like the orchards we planted long ago. It's all aimed at producing good, healthy food with less taken from the land. We're using these new tools, artificial intelligence, to spot trouble early, predict the weather's turn, lighten the load, yet always keeping the old wisdom close. Honor the Creator's design. Work with the seasons, not against them. The goal ain't just to farm. It's to leave the place better for the young'uns coming after. Feeding body and soul without robbing tomorrow. From where I watch, it feels right, like the land and the family are breathing together again. Keep on, son. The hills remember, the donkeys still watch, and the Lord ain't finished speaking through humble things yet.